You know what I'm saying? So to keep from getting ate up, I got to be a wolf myself, you know what I'm saying? You know, because ain't nobody gonna take nothing from me, just like I told you. Motherfucker, wanna try to take something from me, you better bring lunch because it's gonna be a long day. For a drug dealer to accumulate $1 billion in cash was so incredible to me. I could not believe it. She was a real life cocaine queen, which at the time I didn't know they even existed. So once I saw the news report, I mean, I was in awe of her criminal acrobatics and what she was able to do on the streets of United States of America. I mean, I basically idolized the lady. I thought if I could ever meet this woman, you know, maybe some of what she had could rub off on me. When I first heard about Griselda Blanco, I mean, years later, I still had an indelible mark on my brain as far as, you know, how this lady was able to sell such vast amounts of cocaine. I mean, it was just, I was in awe of her, you know, even 5-6 years later. And I wrote the Godmother a letter. Godmother, I think you're the greatest queen ever to sit on the throne. I've admired you from day one, from the first time I heard of you. There's many things I would like to talk to you about, girl. I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying? And I salute you, you know what I'm saying, for being a real woman. I idolize you, you know. I aspire to meet you one day.
Charles always being smart, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that could sit down and see somebody that's on TV going to jail and decide to write, I wouldn't have thought of no shit like that. I would have been like, that bitch is washed. You feel me? It's over for that bitch. But he decided to write that bitch. 3 days later, I received a phone call. I'm nervous, you know. I don't know how to address the lady. You know, I mean, this is the Godmother cocaine. You know, I waited for this moment for 6 years. She said, hello, may I speak to Charles? I said, yeah, this is Charles on the phone. How are you? She said, how you doing, Charles? This is Griselda Blanco. What's with this sudden interest, Charles? I said, well, I just want to rub elbows with a legend. I didn't know how to address her, you know, Griselda or Miss Blanco or whatever. She said, oh, and called me Godmother. The next day, she called me, and we spoke on the phone for an hour. And when I walked in talking loud. Shut up, nigga, ooh, he got mad. So I'm like, what's wrong with this nigga? But he on the phone with her talking. So he instantly give me the phones. So I'm like, what's this, man? He was like, man, this is Griselda, man. Godmother, ooh. The phone calls became routine. I mean, you know, it went from 1 phone call a day to 2 calls a day to 4, 5, 6 phone calls a day from the Godmother. We would talk about her son, Michael Corleone, her other sons, Oswaldo, Uber, and El Negro, Dixon. I had known Griselda about 5 or 6 months. She called me one morning, you know, Charles, I think it's time that you meet my son, Michael Corleone, the love of my life. You know, he was about 12 years old at the time. I rang his doorbell, and he came to the door wearing a wife beater. He was a little bitty guy. He looked so much like his mother. For his age, he was very mature. He had a maturity level of maybe an 18 or 20-year-old. From the first time we met, I was like his surrogate father.
All right,
Michael Corleone had a fascination about Oakland. So I would go get Michael Corleone and bring him to Oakland. And he would spend nights with me. And the Godmother definitely appreciated me spending so much quality time with Michael Corleone. Really scored a lot of points for me in her
streets. Am I gonna live till next week?
I run with a pack of wolves. You know what I'm saying? So to keep from getting ate up, I got to be a wolf myself. You know what I'm saying? You know, because ain't nobody gonna take nothing from me, just like I told you. Motherfucker, wanna try to take something from me, you better bring lunch because it's gonna be a long day. You know, motherfucker ain't going out like no little punk motherfucker because I'm not about that, you know what I'm saying? I don't start no shit, but at the same time, I won't run from it either, you know? This is the very spot where my partner Banana was killed, and the subsequent chain of events forced me to flee my East Oakland home and take refuge in Fresno, California. He was on 100th and MacArthur one night, late '84. Some vultures, guys that go around preying on drug dealers to rob them, came up to my partner Banana, stuck going that direction. We went through the drugs. Queen known as Griselda Blanco, who was arrested earlier that day in Irvine, California.
Police are saying she may be responsible for as many as 200 murders.